Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Talking Chronos. Today we're diving deep into a timepiece that's more than just a watch. It's a masterpiece of engineering and design. I'm talking about the Grand Seiko SLGA019, part of their Evolution 9 series collection, and what I feel is the best of the Lake Suwa dial variants. Let's go over the history, design, unbox the watch together, then we'll go over some specs and details, and of course what makes this timepiece stand out in the world of horology. To truly appreciate this timepiece, we need to understand the incredible story behind Grand Seiko. Seiko was already a major player and they sought to create a watch that would rival the best Swiss manufacturers such as Rolex and Omega. Founded in 1960, Grand Seiko started with a singular philosophy, and that was to build the ideal watch, one that would be as accurate, durable, and as beautiful as possible. This ambition led to the birth of Grand Seiko. Initially, production was split between the Suwa and Daini Seikosha factories, fostering a healthy competition that pushed the boundaries of watchmaking in Japan. And the rest is history. Daini Seikosha is now known as Shizukushi Watch Studio within Seiko Instruments. They launched a 9-inch mechanical movement, which immediately became the backbone of Grand Seiko's mechanical collection. Suwa Seikosha is now known as Shinsu Watch Studio within Seiko Epson. They were the driving force of the quartz technology, and it's also where the innovative spring drive movement was created. Recently, I had the opportunity to travel to Japan, and for a watch enthusiast like myself, a visit to the Wako Grand Seiko Flagship Boutique in Ginza, Tokyo was an absolute must. Wako, which stands as a Ginza landmark, was founded in 1881 by Seiko visionary Kentaro Hattori. Its iconic clock tower has weathered history, even surviving a Godzilla attack in the 1954 film. Now, fun fact for all you Godzilla fans, for the 65th anniversary of Godzilla and the 20th anniversary of the Spring Drive movement, Grand Seiko actually released a limited edition timepiece as seen here, which is a pretty cool collaboration if you ask me. So here is Wako today, which is now known as Seiko House. Inside you'll find the complete Grand Seiko collection alongside Seiko and Pro Specs models. They also carry other brands within the first floor. So within the building there are multiple levels, and I encourage you to explore each floor to get the most out of your experience. Please keep in mind that filming wasn't allowed, and I'll do my best to describe these levels to you. The second floor is a treasure trove boasting even more Grand Seikos and Creator masterpieces in a truly exceptional historical Grand Seiko exhibition, superior in my opinion to the Seiko Museum next door. The third and fourth floor is pretty self-explanatory for women's and men's fashion, and the sixth floor is the Seiko House Hall of Events with an ever-changing variety of interesting content, including exhibitions related to the group's business and co-creation projects with artists. Also, make sure not to miss the tempting cake and chocolate salon in the adjacent annex building on your way out. Now back on the first floor. Man, the experience was like being a kid in a candy store, and it was a bit of sensation overload. I was able to see some of the Wako Ginza only limited pieces. Here's the Heritage SPGH 241 and the 2025 Ginza limited edition SPGA 503, which is limited to 500 pieces. Stock was plentiful, and I was able to really try on all pieces from various collections, including all three of the Lake Suwa dial variants. Ultimately, I landed on the SLGA019 and decided to pull the trigger. Here's some footage of the buying experience, and it was truly exceptional. I highly recommend buying a Grand Seiko if you happen to be in Japan. A tip for shoppers, make sure to bring your passport if you're traveling to Japan and are looking to make any purchases. Wako simplifies tax refunds, and they clearly display both the price with tax and the duty-free price, eliminating the need for a separate tax refund process. Keep in mind that Japan is reforming tax-free shopping for travelers, which is going to go into effect in 2026, and the experience may differ from the date of this video. Also, please consider the Wako membership. It's free, and you'll earn points worth 2% of your purchase, doubling on your birthday. Just be aware that they expire after a year, so if you're staying in Japan for a couple extra days, make sure to just go back to the store to use those points to buy some accessories such as straps or maybe even another watch. Alright, so as you guys know, I purchased this watch in Japan. I was able to wear it around my trip and really created some nice memories with this timepiece on the wrist. So without further ado, let's go ahead and unbox this thing. So I'm not sure if this is the same package you'd receive with a stateside purchase. Anyways, I'm curious, so drop a comment below and let me know what you got. All right, let's go ahead and check it out. So you can see this Nice blue box here. It does have some text that it's made in Japan as well as the other materials. Just open this thing up and I'll put this case to the side. And inside, you'll see some contents here. Let's take out what's in this cubby first. And you'll find this nice packet, which is going to include your warranty information and maintenance information. This first page is the operating instructions, which has your movement on top with the QR code to scan if you want to find out more information. Here is the limited 5-year warranty card, along with guarantee details. In the back, you're going to find some information about your watch, such as the model number, the movement, and of course the boutique in which the watch was purchased at. And here you're going to have your warranty contents and some details, as well as the same in multiple languages. Then you have your maintenance support packet. Inside is going to be also another maintenance support card, and that's going to have very similar details as the warranty card as far as the watch's specs and details. All right, so something I mentioned earlier is to sign up for the free Wako membership card. This is what it looks like here in the flesh. Again, what it does, just really quick, is it allows you to accumulate points from your purchases, and you'll be able to use them towards future purchases. All right, guys, so here's my receipt of purchase. As I mentioned earlier, this is the pre-duties and taxes price of 1,330 yen. That is the equivalent at time of purchase with conversion rates at about 8,500 US dollars. Keep in mind, US retail price is 10,500 pre-tax. So with sales tax, depending on what state or county, etc. you're in, it could be up to $11,000. So there is some significant savings. If you are in the country and you're looking to buy a Seiko or a Grand Seiko, I definitely highly encourage you pick up something JDM while you're there to not only save money, but also of course to have the whole experience. All right, so before we check out what's in here, I want to show you guys something that was gifted to me by the boutique. Now, it's always really cool when you receive something unexpected, and this is actually something really awesome. Let's take a look at the packaging here. I'll let you guys take a moment to try to guess what this is. Again, you see made in Japan, and that's on the text here. And they gifted me a Grand Seiko double action pen. Here's a quick instruction manual on how to operate it. Now, it's really awesome to receive a gift and keepsake from your boutique or AD. Did you also purchase a Grand Seiko from Japan, and did you receive a gift from your boutique or AD? If so, drop a comment below on what you were gifted. I'd love to know. So here you have this neatly wrapped rice paper. It's pretty standard for Grand Seiko, but here's just the close-up so you guys can kind of see the texture. I'm just going to put this to the side for a moment so we can kind of see the rest of what's inside the box. So there's a cubby in here, and it comes with 2 additional packets. I actually haven't opened them, but from the feel of it, it actually feels like probably some cleaning cloths. Just put these back in. All right, so let's go ahead and take this out. So you actually get a really, really nice travel watch roll, which I appreciated. This is something I actually used on my trip quite often just to store the watch, but this thing is super premium. The leather is super soft and supple. You can actually see the Grand Seiko logo here, and also that it's made in Japan. Now let's go ahead and open this up. Yeah, we're not going to show the watch just yet. It does come with a microfiber cloth, a really nice one that matches the interior. And just so you guys can see the inside of that watch roll case, just super, super nice. It has nice buttons, a very nice click, and good feedback. But this is a really cool bonus that I really appreciated. All right, so we're gonna take this off from its cover, and man, there it is, the Grand Seiko SLGA019, and what I feel again is the best variant of the Lake Suwa dial variants. I mean, this thing is just absolutely stunning. Take a look at that dial and just how the light plays with the indices and hands shining from just over here. So, man, this thing is sick. Now, there are 2 features that make this watch stand out. One is the 5-day spring drive movement, and the other is the dynamic and just straight up gorgeous dial. I think it's well established that Grand Seiko has exceptional dial work, and this is the perfect example of that. Now this is called a Minamo dial, meaning that the texture is meant to emulate the ripples on the surface of a body of water. The ripples on the dial react in a similar way to real waves on a lake, and the lighting changes the look of the dial in a dynamic way, getting brighter or darker depending on the angle and reflection of the lighting against the sapphire crystal. Alright, so let's go over the specs of this Grand Seiko SLGA019. The first thing you're going to notice, of course, is this gorgeous blue Lake Suwa dial variant, as you can see. Now the case diameter is 40 millimeters. You have a case length of 47.9 millimeters. The case thickness is 11.8 millimeters, and it has a very low center of gravity, which is ultra comfortable to wear on the wrist. You have this screw down crown, which also has a GS logo on it. The lug width is 22 millimeters and tapers down to about 20 millimeters at the bracelet and the clasp. The clasp is a 3-fold clasp, as you can see here, and both the case and the bracelet material is high intensity titanium, which makes it ultra lightweight and is very comfortable to wear. You have a sapphire crystal, which is slightly domed on the top just to protect the bezel, and you have a sapphire crystal on the back exhibition case back as well. Now this watch features a time, a date, and a power reserve indicator, which is found on the movement side on the back exhibition case back, and I'll show it to you really quick. If you look right there, that is the power reserve indicator of the spring drive movement, and you have a water resistance of 100 meters and a magnetic resistance of 4800 AM. Alright, so something I really love about Grand Seiko is really just the detailed work that goes into making these watches. So take a look at the wide and long hands. They have both polished edges and a brushed surface, and all of the applied markers have a tapering or trapezoidal form with flared chamfered edges, plus a polished trench or a bevel line that runs down each marker, and it really grabs and reflects light like no other applied marker I've ever come across. We have to briefly talk about the Evolution 9 style. It was introduced in 2020 and is a modern refinement of the brand's classic design, blending Japanese aesthetics with enhanced legibility and comfort. It features sharp, multifaceted cases with contrasting finishes, bold hand and indexes for easy reading, and a low center of gravity for better wrist stability. So with that being said, let's go over the finishing work in just a little bit more detail. So Grand Seiko uses what they call Zeratsu polishing. This is a hand polish that takes a craftsman years to master, and it gives a mirror-like appearance to the polishing, which is absolutely superb. If you take a look at a little detail here, you can see that the bezel is all brushed, and then it goes down to a polished surface. You have also the same thing on the edge of the case to the side from polish to brush. And if you have look at the bracelet, same thing, you have brush centers, and along the edge you have polishing. So all of this is really, really nice. It's probably some of the best finishing work I've seen on any high-end Swiss or even Japanese watch. It's truly, truly amazing, and I don't think anybody can come close to the finishing work for the price point that you're paying. Let's go ahead and talk about the bracelet really quick. Now first, let me flip it to the side. You'll notice there are drilled holes on the sides of the case. So this is a drilled lug setup, which will allow you to remove the bracelet easily and quickly if you're trying to change this out for a strap of some sort. Now the bracelet itself has solid end links and has a 3-link design, and let's just take a look at some of the fine details here in the brushing work again. So it's very, very nicely done and made. And if I flip it over this way, you'll notice that there are pins and sleeves, and that's actually how you're going to be able to adjust the links on this watch or remove them. Now in order to do so, you're going to need a block and punch in order to size this. Now you might be wondering, why are there not screws? Well, titanium screws can strip out easier, so this is done intentionally by Grand Seiko to avoid any kind of mishaps or problems. Now also notice there are intermediate sized links, the smaller ones here, so that's going to allow you to fine-tune the watch and bracelet to your wrist and find the perfect size. Now the bracelet might be a little different than what you might be used to if you're coming from a luxury Swiss watch, as they're typically more solid in feeling. It's ultra flexible, and it's intentional and adds to the comfortability and wearability for a daily piece. Now the 3-fold clasp is well constructed, but it can be said that it's rather basic and there is no quick adjustment feature. It honestly doesn't bother me, but I know that many of you would prefer some adjustability. Now let's turn our attention to the other star of the show. and that is the spring drive movement. It's a hybrid watch mechanism that combines the traditional mainspring of a mechanical watch with the high precision of a quartz regulator. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail, and that could be a whole nother video on its own. Now, this caliber within is called a 9RA2, which has an accuracy of plus minus 0.5 seconds per day or plus minus 10 seconds per month. Yes, I said month. The movement has a 5-day power reserve or 120 hours, and it has 38 joules. The biggest draw for me is really the finish and execution. I love the overall attention to detail, and the entire movement looks spectacular. The frozen matte finish with the polished chamfers, the skeletonized rotor, the blue screws, and the power reserve hand, the synthetic rubies, and all the brass elements. Man, I really love how this looks. Also, unlike the previous spring drive movements, which had the power indicator on the front of the dial, this has a power reserve on the back, which is what Grand Seiko owners have been asking for. It's really good that they've listened to the feedback, and you can really appreciate the intricate dials fully. Alright, so let's go ahead and wind the watch and set the date and the time. So in order to wind the watch, you want to turn the crown like this, hear the first pop, and you just want to turn it this way. Please note here, that power indicator reserve, now this watch is fully powered up and wound right now. If you're low, it's going to be down on that one right there. Now in order to set the date, you just get into the second position, you hear the click, and to set the time to the third position. When you're done, push the screw back in, get a hand tight, and you're good to go. Alright guys, let's get this on the wrist. Man, that's a stunner. Here it is on my 7-inch wrist, and it fits beautifully. These watches aren't so thin where they look like a pure dress watch, but they have some sporty characteristics to it. So you can kind of get away with both. You can be dressed up or down, and it's a really versatile daily piece. It sits very flat on my wrist, and the 40mm diameter fits and looks great. The lightweight titanium case and bracelet, along with the low center of gravity, makes it ultra comfortable to wear. Also, the titanium material has a sleek darker gray hue compared to the more traditional stainless steel, and I really like the unique finish and look. Now see that smooth second-hand sweep? Man, that really just can't be beat, and it's incredible. Just the way everything shines, it's gorgeous. The way it plays with the light, and you just get that glimpse of that stunning textured blue Minamo Lake Suwa dial. It's simply amazing, guys. Now, if you're someone looking for an everyday, do-it-all watch and looking for what Grand Seiko has to offer with the innovative technology, intricate dials, hand finishing, and an overall story to tell, this is really as good as it gets. Thanks again for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. It really does help the channel out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.